climate emergency and keep this promise to end fossil fuels, to continue to bring this spirit of nonviolent resistance, to put our bodies where our hearts are and say this has to be done, we can't delay. And today, three people that have lived a life of great courage and service are going to be joining in this action, risking arrest, making this sacrifice to try to protect our climate, to stand up for all the people, all of the species that are being harmed, and to preserve and try to restore a safe climate for all life on Earth. So it's our honor to stand with them and to back up them today and to lift up their voices. My name's Kai Newkirk. Before all, I was one of the folks that were arrested on Thursday. Brother Michael Beer here was among them as well. He was held overnight. Brother Justin Blake is back in Chicago. But we're all here in solidarity, continue to lead this fight. Pass it to whichever one of you would like to speak.
Well, I'm Doug Hughes, and Kai is correct. Just can't wait. What we have is an emergency that's gaining speed, getting worse. We're asking, demanding that Joe Biden take action.
My name is Reverend Redeem Robinson. I'm the interim pastor at Old West United Methodist Church in Boston and executive director at All Souls Movement based out of Los Angeles. President Joe Biden has a moral obligation as a person of faith, as a practicing Catholic, to take action on climate. The Bible tells us that we are to be stewards of our planet. And so President Biden has a moral obligation to end fossil fuels and to take action to protect our planet.
I'm Badass Grandma, Jill Ferguson. I'm a water protector and earth defender of the sacred. I was arrested protecting the Mississippi River, and I'm here today to call on Grandma Jill to Grandma Jill Biden to please encourage Joe to please declare a climate emergency, that we are running out of time and it is urgent. It's real urgent because I'm 70 and I can't do this much longer, so I need him to do it. I need him to do it ASAP. So that's why I'm here today.
Thank you, Grandma Jill.
Honored to be with these beautiful people.
Declare climate emergency and fossil fuels.
Go back to that. All right.
Climate action now.
All power to the people.
So we're going to stay back and give them space to move forward and do this action, and then we'll be there backing you all up. We love you. We're coming right behind you. Yep.
Okay, wait.
I guess so.
I got goosebumps, y'all. Goosebumps. That means that we're standing in absolute truth and with integrity, in love, in peace. To end fossil fuels, it's unsustainable. Absolutely unsustainable. And water is life. That's not just a hashtag. Water is life. And you can't live without it. So
Let's go down there.
stop line 5. Shut down line 5. Shut down line 3.
Welcome to the White House Nation's Capital. I was talking about how much Jamaica has contributed to the musical world. You know, if we never expose each other to our cultures, how do they learn? I mean, seriously, how do they learn if we don't ever expose them to our culture?
Take a picture of us.
All right? Man, I just saw what you did. Uh-oh, this is a protest. I just saw you online. Lose the shit. I just got there during a flash protest. I just saw that, man, and here you are. Wow. No, that's not the police. Wow, I just got that notice too. I follow him. Y'all follow me. That's the brother right there. That's with the camera. Follow him on YouTube. News to shit. Alright? Follow him. I know they got a protest, but yeah, follow him.
Right there.
Alright, we're gonna get back to the national anthem.
It's fine, thank you. Yeah, they're right over there. Thank you.
Act with urgency, declare a climate emergency. 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 End fossil fuels, 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 declare a climate emergency. Declare a climate emergency.
You reattach it. You guys will get locked up.
Declare a climate emergency.
Right?
End fossil fuels.
Declare a climate emergency.
Because I don't want to do
End
paperwork.
fossil fuels.
You guys are protesting,
Declare a
right?
climate emergency.
Do the right thing. You guys got any type of permit or anything today?
Climate emergency.
End fossil
Permit,
fuels.
anything like that? Okay. I'll go and get some other information from you guys just so we put it out.
Declare a
We always
climate
do it with every
emergency.
demonstration group.
End fossil
Right?
fuels. Declare a climate emergency. End fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency. End fossil
What's your group
fuels.
name?
Declare a climate emergency. End
group
fossil
name?
fuels. Declare a climate emergency. End fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency. End fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency. For all. End fossil fuels.
Do you have a specific group name?
For all. End fossil fuels.
charge you?
Declare a climate emergency.
You can talk to me.
Declare a
How
climate
many people you expect
emergency.
today?
End fossil
This is
fuels.
it. So,
Declare a climate emergency.
are the people filming with you guys? 6, 7, 8. Let's call it 10 people.
We put down 100.
Sights and sound equipment today. You see you got your bullhorn.
Said you're expecting 100?
End fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency.
I got you, no problem.
Sight and sound. Any civil disobedience suspected.
Declare a
Just,
climate
just now is
emergency.
it. Just attach it to the fence. Alright, I already told
Declare a
you.
climate
Again.
emergency.
other
End
issues.
fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency.
Sight, sounds,
End
equipment.
fossil fuels.
People name a demo.
Declare a climate emergency.
How long you plan on going for?
End fossil fuels. declare a climate emergency.
Well, like today.
Dr. Joe Biden.
I mean,
please.
Couple hours, couple
Tell
minutes.
Joe to
No. We always ask this for everybody. Usually some people are like, oh, we're gonna hear it for only 30 minutes, and then they move on. If you don't have an expected end time, that's cool. No expected.
Ban fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency. Ban fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency.
And then you guys don't have a permit, right? Through Park Service and PD, things like that. Planning on, I didn't know if you're planning on moving out of the area anytime.
I'm not sure I can talk.
All good. It's not that, like I said, we just get the information, we can relay to our job, and then gets relayed to partner agencies just so everybody's aware of what's going on.
Declare a climate emergency.
How's it going, guys? Like I said, don't reattach that to the flag, to the permit.
Declare a climate emergency.
Yeah, just don't attach it to the fence, and then as long as you keep the walkway open for people to walk through, that's it.
Declare a climate
Thanks.
emergency. Ban fossil fuels. Declare a climate 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 emergency. Ban fossil fuels.
All right, guys, we're going to have to take
Declare a
the sign down.
climate
Obviously, we can't attach
emergency.
the sign on
Ban
here.
fossil fuels.
That's it.
Declare a climate emergency. Ban fossil fuels.
Okay, we just can't have the sign
Declare a
attached.
climate
Okay?
emergency.
You can hold the sign, you
Ban
can't put it on
fossil
the fence.
fuels.
You can't attach it.
Declare a climate emergency.
You can hold the sign all you want,
Fossil
don't put it on the
fuels.
fence.
Declare a climate emergency. Ban fossil fuels.
We're not
Declare a
just don't put it
climate
on the fence.
Just can't have it attached to the
Ban
fence. You guys can hold it.
Declare a climate emergency. Leave the sign up. Biden needs to read it. Leave the sign up. Biden needs to read it. Leave the sign up. Biden needs to read it.
Act with urgency. Declare a climate emergency. Act with urgency. Defend a climate emergency. Act with urgency. Declare a climate emergency. Act with urgency.
Let's act like it.
They're going to keep on tying it up.
President Biden has a moral obligation as a Catholic to protect the environment.
You're gonna keep putting it back up there and we give it back to you.
You guys not worried about the climate emergency?
What was that, ma'am?
President Biden has a moral obligation as a Catholic to protect the environment. In fossil fuels.
You're gonna keep putting it back on the fence and we give it back to you.
I'm not sure.
Code 27 is not the same.
Act with urgency. Declare a climate emergency. Act
With urgency, declare a climate emergency.
Act with urgency.
Declare a climate emergency. Act with urgency. Declare a climate emergency.
Act.
Give you one more opportunity. Are you going to hang it back on the fence? If you're going to hang it back on the fence, we're going to take it. If you're not, then you can have it. It's a fucking yes or no question, dude. It's just yes or no. So I'm not asking. We're not being. It's a yes or no.
Okay.
Yes.
Take it.
Yep.
There's someone I can speak with who is in charge.
Yes, Laura here. Officer wants to talk to someone.
Officer Gleason, Park Police. So,
People gonna rise like the water. We're gonna face this crisis now. I hear the voice of my great granddaughter sing, keep it in the ground.
okay. So, what?
People gonna rise like the
Is there anything else? Do you have
water.
any?
We're gonna face
That's all we
this
want to do is just go ahead
now.
and peacefully protest.
I hear
That's
the
it.
voice of my great granddaughter
All right.
sing, keep it in the ground.
All right. Yeah. I mean, that's perfectly
People
fine. You guys
gonna
are
rise like
within
the
their rights. Like they
water.
said, you can't
We're
hang
gonna
it on the
face
fence.
this crisis now.
Like they
I
said, you guys
hear
are the
the
same group
voice
yesterday.
of
You
my
guys are the same
great
group as everybody
granddaughter
yesterday.
saying, keep it in the
I'm
ground.
not sure. I'm not
That was
sure.
different.
Okay.
People gonna rise
Okay.
like the
All right.
water.
I'll be here.
We're gonna
Let me know if you
face
guys need
this
anything.
crisis
I'm happy to
now.
help out.
I hear the voice of my great granddaughter saying, keep it in the ground. People gonna rise like the water. We're gonna face this crisis now. I hear the voice of my great granddaughter saying, keep it in the ground. People gonna rise like the water. We're gonna face this crisis now. I hear the voice of my great granddaughter saying, keep it in the ground.
Hey, give us our sign back. Give us our sign back.
Give us our sign back. Give us our sign back. Give us our sign back.
I'm Badass Grandma, and I'm calling as Grandma Jill to Grandma Jill Biden. I need you to come on out, invite us in, and please talk about the climate emergency and our grandchildren. You have 7 grandchildren. I have 8 grandchildren, expecting a great-grandchild. We need to talk about this. This is a climate emergency. We all know it. The temperature of the water in Florida was 104 degrees. You need to wake up. We need to do something now. This is urgent. Please talk to Joe. Daily you get to see him. Invite us in. We'd love to talk to you about it. I'd like to talk about our grandchildren and our responsibility to them. I grew up in a beautiful world. I didn't have to worry about having asthma. I didn't have to worry about the water being destroyed. The corporation Enbridge has dumped 1.2 million gallons of oil in the Kalamazoo River, and they're trying to do it right now with Line 5 in Wisconsin. They did Line 3 in Minnesota and breached 4 aquifers. Unrepairable. This is unsustainable. Water is life is not just a hashtag, it's a fact. Nothing can live without it. So it's our responsibility, Dr. Biden. You're a wife, you're a mother, you're a grandmother, you're an educator, and in the indigenous community, women are responsible to care for the water. So we need you to step up, Dr. Biden, and take a lead role in this with us. We would love that. Thank you.
If you stand up there, I'm closing the fence line. You're not going to be able to stay on the fence line. Take it down. I'm going to close the fence line. You're hanging up there. You're not hanging up. I will close the fence line, and you're going to have to do it up from over there. We're here making a very simple demand to President Biden to act on your own beliefs. He said that the climate crisis is an existential threat to our nation and the world. President Biden said the climate crisis is an existential threat to our nation and the world. And if he believes that, as I believe he does, he's concerned about his grandchildren, then he needs to act on it and use the full powers of the presidency to declare a national climate emergency and send that symbol to the world, and then to keep his promise, as he said when he was campaigning, he would not allow any new fossil fuel infrastructure on federal lands. And he's gone back on that. So we're here to say, keep your promise, move to end fossil fuels, and act on what you believe and declare a national climate emergency. Don't delay. Every day that you do is a cost in lives. And we can't bear that cost anymore. And so we're here to say day after day, we can't wait. If we have to risk arrest, if we have to spend a day in jail for justice, we will do that for future generations. We will do that for those who are hurting now. We will do that for people that are grieving in Maui, who lost family members to the wildfire that never would have happened without climate change. We will continue this nonviolent struggle until you hear us and you act, declare a climate emergency, and end fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency, 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 end fossil fuels. I want to ask our sign back too. Look at our sign back. Declare a climate emergency, end fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency, end fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency, end fossil fuels. Let's go to work. To the left. Take it back there, y'all. And now we have Cheryl Angel. Look at her virus.
for too long, the president that lives in this White House, that represented the people of all nations, of all citizens, has ignored the warning signs that Mother Earth has been sending. There are hurricanes, there are floods, there are fires that are uncalled for, and those are all signs of climate change. To ignore those, ignore them, is the least. You're so unaccountable. I don't even have words for you because there are no bad words in my language. But there is irresponsibility coming from this house, the house they call the White House. There is so much unconcern for the welfare of the citizens of this planet. I want to show you something. I want you to look out your window because we have a handful. We have dozens of young children right here. You see them, they're all dressed in blue. And they believe in this country and this Constitution because that's how they were raised. There are good parents out there who expect you to protect the water, the environment, and the nature because that's your job.
Yes! Woo!
Can you imagine what their life is going to be like when nature isn't our friend anymore? Nature doesn't have to be our friend. Nature doesn't have to sustain us. And it's not. We're at the beginning, at the end of a relationship with nature, where we took care of nature and nature took care of us. We're coming to the end of that relationship. It's time to wake up and understand that the decisions that you do not make are affecting everybody on this planet. And you're only in charge of this country. There are other countries who are suffering because of the lack of accountability and care for the citizens of the world, well, not just America, but other countries on this planet. Do your job. Do your job. Because the children of this planet deserve better than what they're being offered today.
Thank you.
Do your job and declare a climate emergency in fossil fuels. Do your job. Declare a climate emergency in fossil fuels. Do your job. Declare a climate emergency in fossil fuels. Do your job. Declare a climate emergency in fossil fuels. Do your job. Declare a climate emergency and fossil fuels.
Declare a climate emergency and fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency and fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency and fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency and fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency and fossil fuels.
Would you like to make a statement? Fossil fuels.
Areas closed, guys. Climate emergency and fossil fuels. Declare a 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 climate emergency and fossil fuels.
What were you trying to accomplish out here?
He's sending a message to President Joe Biden that he has a moral obligation as a Catholic to take action against fossil fuels and to protect our planet.
You good? Your hand cuffs all right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Hey guys, we're gonna allow you guys to film, do everything. How the park for us? Okay. Can you do so now? Thank you. Thank you.
Keep the bullhorn going. God, keep the bullhorn.
Climate emergency and fossil fuels.
Use the bullhorn.
Declare a climate emergency and fossil fuels.
Fossil fuels.
Use the bullhorn.
And please don't make us move.
Bullhorn, go ahead.
Before you get in trouble.
And fossil fuels. Declare
climate emergency. End fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency. Fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency. End 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 fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency.
End fossil fuels.
And stop suppressing protest by closing off the streets. This is not a legitimate law enforcement reason for closing the streets. There's no threats. There's no reasons why these arrests are going to be interfered with. You're just closing off public access to a street. You're abusing your authority and being very unprofessional. So please stop suppressing protest and being politically supportive of the fossil fuel companies. Please stop being the enforcers of the fossil fuel companies and enforce the Constitution. Your primary purpose here is to protect the Constitution, not the White House, not anything else. So please protect the Constitution, stop blocking off the street to suppress protest, and stop working for the fossil fuel companies as a puppet for the fossil fuel companies. End fossil fuels!
End fossil fuels.
Declare a climate emergency. End fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency. End fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency. End fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency.
End fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency. End fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency. End fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency. End fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency. End fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency. End fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency. End fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency. End fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency. End fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency. End fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency. End fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency. End fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency. End fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency. End fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency. End fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency. End fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency. End fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency. End fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency. End fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency. End fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency. End fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency. End fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency. End fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency. End fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency. End fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency. End fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency. End fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency. End fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency. End fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency. End fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency. End fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency. End fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency. End fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency. End fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency. End fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency. End fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency. End fossil fuels.
Gatorade, water. Rise like the water, gonna face this crisis. I hear the voice of my great granddaughter saying, keep it in the ground. We love you, Doug. Thank you. Doug. for? Doug! We love you, Doug. Doug, look over here. Tell us what you're here for.
End fossil fuel. Declare a climate emergency.
Thank you, Doug. We love you, brother. Thank you.
All three of them?
People gonna rise like the water. We're gonna face this. Thank you.
We're doing your job.
Great granddaughter.
Grandma Jill, we love you.
People gonna rise like the water. We're gonna face this crisis now. I hear the voice of my great granddaughter saying, keep it in the ground. People gonna rise like the water. Thank you. Good trouble. Saying, keep it in the ground. Rise like the water. We're gonna face this crisis now. I hear the voice of my great granddaughter saying, keep it in the ground. Rise like the water. We're gonna face this crisis now. I hear the voice of my great granddaughter saying, keep it in the ground. People gonna rise like the water.
Declare climate emergency.
I hear the voice of my great granddaughter saying, keep it in the ground. Jill finds me more like badass Jill. We're gonna face this crisis now. I hear the voice of my great granddaughter saying, keep it in the ground. People gonna rise like the water. We're gonna face this crisis now. Thank you, Grandma! I hear the voice of my great granddaughter saying, keep it in the ground. People gonna rise like the water. We're gonna face this crisis now. I hear the voice of my great granddaughter saying, keep it in the ground. People gonna rise like the water. People working together, White House. Crisis now. I hear the voice of my great granddaughter saying, keep it in the ground. People gonna rise like the water. We're gonna face this crisis now. I hear the voice of my great granddaughter saying, keep it in the ground. People gonna rise like the water. We're gonna face this crisis now.
great-granddaughter, going to spit in the ground. People gonna rise like the water, gonna face this crisis now.
Sure. Yeah, let me wait once they're taking my place.
Daughter, going to keep it in the ground. People gonna rise like the water, gonna face this crisis now. Gonna voice of my great-granddaughter, say keep it in the ground. People gonna rise like the water, gonna face this crisis now. I hear the voice of my great-granddaughter, say keep it in the ground. People gonna rise like the water, gonna face this crisis now. I hear the voice of my great-granddaughter, say keep it in the ground. People gonna rise like the water, gonna face this crisis now. I hear the voice of my great-granddaughter, gonna face it in the ground. I hear the voice of my great-granddaughter, people gonna rise like the water, we're gonna face this crisis now. I hear the voice of my great-granddaughter, keep it in the ground. People gonna rise like the water, we're gonna face this crisis now. I hear the voice of my great-granddaughter, say keep it in the ground. People gonna rise like the water, we're gonna face this crisis now. I hear the voice of my great-granddaughter, say keep it in the ground. People gonna rise like the water, we're gonna face this crisis now. I hear the voice of my great-granddaughter, saying keep it in the ground. People gonna rise like the water, we're gonna face this crisis now. I hear the voice of my great-granddaughter, saying keep it in the ground. People gonna rise like the water, we're gonna face this crisis now. I hear the voice of my great-granddaughter, saying keep it in the ground. People gonna rise like the water, we're gonna face this crisis now. I hear the voice of my great-granddaughter, saying keep it in the ground. People gonna rise like the water, we're gonna face this crisis now. I hear the voice of my great-granddaughter, saying keep it in the ground. People gonna rise like the water, I'm gonna face this crisis now. I hear the voice of my great-granddaughter, saying keep it in the ground. People gonna rise like the water, we're gonna face this crisis now. I hear the voice of my great-granddaughter, saying keep it in the ground. People gonna rise like the water, we're gonna face this crisis now. I hear the voice of my great-granddaughter, keep it in the ground. People gonna rise like the water, we're gonna face this crisis now. I hear the voice of my great-granddaughter, saying keep it in the ground. People gonna rise like the water, we're gonna face this crisis now. I hear the voice of my great-granddaughter saying, keep it in the ground. People gonna rise like the water. We're gonna face this crisis now. I hear the voice of my great-granddaughter saying, keep it in the ground. People gonna rise like the water. We're gonna face this crisis now. I hear the voice of my great-granddaughter saying, keep it in the ground. People gonna rise like the water. We're gonna face this crisis now. I hear the voice of my great-granddaughter saying, keep it in the ground. People gonna rise like the water. We're gonna face this crisis now. I hear the voice of my great-granddaughter saying, keep it in the ground. People gonna rise like the water. We're gonna face this crisis now. I hear the voice of my great-granddaughter saying, keep it in the ground. People gonna rise like the water. We're gonna face this crisis now. I hear the voice of my great-granddaughter saying, keep it in the ground.
Thank you, we love you. Thank you, we love you.
I was hearing it as it was happening.
Can they hear the whistle?
I gotta go right now and play that.
I like all the free. I like all the stickers. You did a great job yesterday.
Is that the last? Is that Doug?
They're all in there. They're all in this one.
We love you! Thank you, Doug! Thank you, Redeem!
Thank you, we love you. Thank you, we love you. Thank you, we love you. Ooh, that's a good one.
We see you. We love you.
We see you. We love you. We see you. We love you. We see you. We love you. We see you.
Does that mean dead battery?
Hope not. Dead battery.
Oh.
Really?
Well, it held out right to the end.
Hold up, bro.
Thank you. See you soon.
Thank you, everybody. Closing out.
Kai, do you want to just talk quickly about what just happened?
Sure. We're here at the White House protesting the call on Joe Biden to declare a climate emergency to keep his promise to move to end fossil fuels. And three courageous people. Doug Hughes, who's famous for landing a gyrocopter on the Capitol lawn in 2015 in protest against corruption of big money in politics. This is the first time he's risking arrest since he served his sentence. He was one arrested. Reverend Redeem Robinson, founder of All Souls Movement, and pastor of a church in Boston. He was arrested, and Jill Badass Grandma Ferguson, who inspired many people across the country. I think millions of people saw the video of her being violently arrested in a protest against Line 3 in Minnesota. And she was so courageous through that whole thing, inspired many people. So she came together, she was arrested. The three of them are being taken in. We expect they may be held overnight. And we're going to continue. We're going to be back tomorrow. We're going to be back Friday, back next Tuesday, back Wednesday. We're calling on everybody who can to go to New York for the March to End Fossil Fuels on Sunday the 17th, and to join the mass action there on the 18th, and to join us at the White House if they can, or if they can't go up to New York. This is a critical moment leading up to the UN Climate Summit on September 20th to push Biden to finally do what I believe and we believe he knows is the right thing to do, but needs to be pushed to do, and we're going to keep on fighting until that happens.
Thank you very
Go
much.
to White House Climate CD, whitehouseclimatecd.us.